Hello, everyone. How's it going? Cody, how you doing, man?
I'm still waking up, man. I'm still waking up.
Oh, very good, very good. So today we are talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, the sequel that nobody asked for. But here we are. Before we talk about that, since you were not in the original Blood and Honey review, let's go over your brief opinion of it, shall we?
Yeah, let's. So, to not mince words, this first movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that is not an exaggeration. It was so bad. Like, it was hardly even a movie. It just seemed like they didn't even try.
It was just, at the end of the day, because when you really break it down, it's a generic slasher movie that just happens to have Winnie the Pooh in it. They do nothing with it.
I've seen generic slashers, and they weren't that bad. So I don't really know. I don't know what happened there.
I think a big problem is they don't take advantage of the fact that it's Winnie the Pooh. It's just Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, no, it was one of those, like, they just did it because they could, and that was the extent of it. And because they jumped on it right away, like, right after he went into public domain. This was, I think, the following year, or very shortly after.
They announced it right after it happened.
Okay, so yeah, it was pretty much immediate. But yeah, it was so bad. And then, obviously, Tigger wasn't public domain at the time the first one came out because they rushed it, and he wasn't around right away.
And again, they only used Pooh and Piglet in the movies.
Yeah, they mention everyone else, at least, that they could.
Owl, Rabbit,
legally.
and Eeyore, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I saw the trailers for the first one, I thought they were crazy people in masks, because that's what it looked like.
But they're actually supposed to be Pooh and Piglet, and
they're just some weird, terrible creatures.
Yes.
Yeah, the first, and there was a lot of they cut away from the violence a lot, and then would cut back. Like you mentioned in your first review, the car head crushed scene, but it wasn't actually that bad, because every time something was starting to happen, it would cut away and then cut back to a different model, and then cut away and then cut back, and then there's just a lot of CG blood mixed in there, so it really was not that bad.
I mean,
there's CG blood all over that movie.
It's really bad. Now, granted, it had a less than $50,000 budget.
No, but fake blood is not expensive.
No, and you can't use the low budget excuse to excuse poor writing.
No, I've seen some very low budget movies, and if it's poorly written, well, this thing is, the first movie's not even written. There's nothing to it. There is no plot. It's a series of nothing happening. No, but actually, I want to touch on this because I couldn't find anybody talking about it. When I am hesitant to call her the main character because there really wasn't one, but when the main character crashes the car at the end, she doesn't crash the car. But everything online says she crashed the car.
But there's no tree, there's nothing. It's just, she's just there. She's just
One thing specifically says she crashed into a tree. I'm like, did you watch the movie? Because no, she didn't. She braked, and then somehow braked so hard that she smashed her head on the steering wheel and was bleeding. But I'm like, she didn't crash. It just irked me that everybody, like, nobody's talking about it. Whatever. She brakes. She aggressively brakes, and then the movie is over like 2 seconds later. It's so bad. It's so bad. Anyways, moving on to the second one, because I don't want to not talk about or see that first movie ever again.
So the second one picks up right where the first one left off.
Or doesn't.
Well, and I guess there's no way to avoid this. One, Christopher Robin is now the main character, which is a giant improvement on the first movie.
Yes,
we actually
and
have one now.
Even more so, an improvement is, and I'm really glad right away, they recast him.
Yeah, the producer of this franchise is now Christopher Robin.
Interesting.
And I'll be honest, he actually does a pretty solid job as Christopher Robin.
No, this recasting was phenomenal. His name's Scott Chambers. He did a fantastic job in this. Like, anytime he was having to legitimately act, I was like, that felt real. He did a good job.
And there's no way to avoid this. All the monsters have been redesigned. Pooh, Piglet are still around. They're redesigned. But now you have Tigger and Owl. And there's they actually...
Rabbit is still missing.
And they actually explain it, which is there's no way to really avoid this. The first movie is now a film within a film.
But it in a way that actually works and makes sense.
Yeah. Because now you can explain away why they looked so bad in the first movie. It's because it was a movie in a movie.
Yes, and notoriously, movies within movies or movies within shows are horrible. So it's like, oh, so that's why it was so bad, because it was a movie within it. Yeah, it explains everything away by just making it not be technically canon.
If I understood this correctly, the events of the first movie actually did happen.
Well, it's a bit unclear because the babysitter later on, what's her name? Lexi. She says to the kid, like, that's all lies. But it's like, well, it can't all be lies because there was a massacre. People did die. But I guess I don't know. Like, did he have a fiance / wife, since they couldn't decide which she was?
It flip flops every second with that in the first movie.
Like, did he go there with somebody like that? Like, what of the first movie was true? Because all we know is, yes, Christopher Robin was there, and yes, people died. Did he get taken captive?
And did Piglet actually get attacked by a sledgehammer? Because he's still alive in this one for all of a second.
Whether or not he did that still makes sense. But when it first started, I was like, why have Piglet still be alive if he's just going to get his head blown off right at the beginning?
Immediately.
But then they do follow up on that. Which makes sense. I was like, oh, okay, so that's why.
And I'll be real, the redesigns, they actually look like monsters now.
No, huge improvement. It was Pooh seems much more like a werebear now.
Yeah, he does.
Piglet. If I had seen, like, if I never saw a trailer for the second one, but if I had, I would have been like, oh, so they're not people in masks.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. You also get a plot this time.
Yeah, I think I messaged you within 15 minutes of the movie starting. I was like, was that a semblance of a plot?
Yeah, they actually made an effort, because they got the guy, the writer of this movie is not the director anymore. It is Matt Leslie, who I think wrote Summer of '86, which I've heard is really good. I haven't watched it yet, but they got an actual Hollywood writer to write this movie.
Yeah, he still has the director on his writing credit, so maybe he did something, but given the quality increase, I would say probably not much.
Yeah, the
directing also got better.
Yeah, it's like the director actually was like, he took the criticism to heart and was like, no, I'm gonna make a better movie.
I was very worried at the beginning though, because there was a shot of janky fire, just badly comped fire towards the beginning. I was like, oh, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of CG blood, are you? There was some, but not nearly as bad as the first one.
Not even close. Though I will say, it's not a perfect film by any means. There are still a lot of glaring issues, but it's a huge step in the right direction compared to the first one. A lot of the characters are still really stupid.
Yep. It's side characters mostly. The main characters only to a degree that's normal for horror movies.
I would say Christopher Robin isn't stupid.
I think breaking into somebody's house when you're already a suspect for things, not the best idea, but
okay, probably not. Yeah. The direction they took with that, I was not expecting at all.
No. But the second they mention 7 missing children, I was like, all right, so which one of the Pooh characters is Christopher's brother?
That's exactly where my brain went to.
And I was like, probably Pooh, and then it said geneticist right after, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was on the right track there.
Did you catch the zombie deer reference in the Google search?
No, I didn't actually. I missed. Apparently, the Google in that universe is named after the Winnie the Pooh author.
Yes, I had to look that up too. I didn't notice that.
But no, I didn't. So the Bambi stuff's already happening then.
Yeah, and then Christopher Robin's hypnotherapist is Wendy's mother from Peter Pan.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they're trying to tie all these movies together.
I mean, that's credit where it's due. That they're getting that in early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Recent Avengers movies could definitely take notes on that one.
Yeah. This movie is also a lot more brutal than the first one.
Yeah. I mean, there's this. Yeah. I guess it is.
I want to say there's a lot more kills in this one too.
And they're a bit more creative in a lot of, because that was one of my criticisms about the first one is like, well, the movie doesn't have a plot, but they could at least get some interesting kills. First one didn't even do that.
No, they don't. The best
But
part of the
second
first
one, yeah,
movie was when he smacks the girl on the ground and drools on her, and it's just funny.
Yeah, you said that people in the audience laughed. Well, I didn't have an audience.
Oh, dude, they lost it.
I was just forcing my way through the movie because it was rough. I really got to stop going back to the first one. The first one's no longer relevant. It didn't happen, maybe.
I mean, I'm almost interested to see like a remake of the first one as what actually happened.
You could just pull an Evil Dead 2 and just have a quick recap.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that.
That's fair too. Because Evil Dead 2 thing.
Like I said though, the second one, like, it's not just the writing that's better; it is films better. Especially the slower like character interaction scenes are well filmed. Some of the gory scenes are okay, but there's abrupt editing that sometimes makes it hard to tell what's happening. I have seen worse though, like Resident Evil: The Final Chapter had even worse editing.
The one shot where I think Pooh is he sawing that girl's head off?
Yes.
That was a little awkwardly filmed, I thought.
Actually the sawing part was all right. It's the part right before it that was confusing because he goes from drilling a girl's head to cutting a girl's head off, but there was like you can't really see the transition. I had to rewind it because I was like, wait, that wasn't the same girl. There's no way that was the same girl. No, sure enough, he drills a girl's head, she dies, and then the next girl just runs straight at him.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's from off frame, so you can't really see it happen. But yes, the one girl drops, and then he grabs another girl from off screen, and then cuts her head off. That part was badly. It was confusing.
It was really awkward. Yeah, I was confused watching that scene. How'd you feel about Tigger?
He was 100% inspired by Freddy Krueger.
Easily. They don't even try to hide it.
Yeah, and I totally expected. I didn't want to know if he was in this movie. I assumed just logically when it came out, but yeah, sure enough, they used him, and then Owl shows up, but yeah, still no rabbit. And okay, so they mention, and this did explain why Piglet got his head blown off at the beginning, that the Pooh characters can regenerate.
Yes.
And then I was like, all right, well, that explains Piglet. I'm pretty sure he's just going to heal from that. And that if he did get attacked in the first movie, okay, that explains why he survived that. But, so is Eeyore alive then?
My guess is there's nothing left of him.
Between the events of the first movie being inaccurate and like, or like if they ate this, like you just said, maybe they ate his whole body, or I don't know, like, could he be? I don't know.
It's a question. It's definitely a question. Something I did like was them diving into Christopher Robin's memories and his psyche. And maybe his memories were wrong. Maybe Pooh was always just a lunatic. Yeah,
because it showed. It showed when he first. I assume when they first met, and yeah, Pooh's just like gnawing on something.
I want to say it was an animal. I don't know.
I could not make out what it was. I don't think he had quite gotten murderous yet, but maybe. Hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, it implies he never like hurt Christopher, but because we'll get to that. But
yeah. Okay, so your favorite change to the events of the first movie, I imagine, since you kept saying it, is it's Poohin time. Which is that part's got to be canon because I. No, I want to know, was that making fun of the It's Morbin time thing, or
that's exactly what it was? They were making because the meme came out of Morbius, and then people started applying it to Blood and Honey 1, and so the director was like, "Hey, fuck it, let's just throw it in there as a joke."
Oh, okay. Because with the electricity around him in that shot, which I more got It's Morphin time vibes from it.
It's Poohin time.
What I want to know what the electricity was. What was that moment leading up to? He
was powering up, bro.
To do what?
He was about to go super Pooh and poo all over the girls.
Super Pooh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay, wow. Okay, that was a tangent, but it's still on topic.
I love that part. That was my favorite part of the whole movie.
Sorry. So I was trying to figure out for the rest of the movie because they've mentioned most of the Pooh characters now, but they said 7 missing kids, and I was like, all right, who's missing?
So that'd be Pooh, Piglet, Owl, Rabbit, Eeyore, Kanga, and Roo.
Nope. No, you left out. I think you left out Tigger there, but the ones they have not mentioned Kanga and Roo. The ones they have mentioned, which Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, Owl, Rabbit, and Tigger. That's 6.
So I was like, Kanga's probably the other one.
Yeah, but then, and so I was like, all right, well, that makes me feel like they got some messed up birth stuff planned for Kanga in the next one.
Oh yeah.
Although when his sister went missing for a bit, I'm like, oh no, is she gonna get turned into Roo or something like that?
Oh, that would have been messed up.
Honestly, the way she went missing and came back, depending on how the genetic transformation works, it's still possible that could happen.
I don't want that.
No, but I feel like they wouldn't miss the opportunity to do something gross with like a Kanga birth scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
and then it's important to mention, Gopher's not a missing character because he was a Disney character that wasn't introduced until 40 years later, so he will not be showing up.
Yeah, they can't do anything with anything Disney related. It's strictly the books that they can pull from.
Yeah. I actually, I was kind of getting the vibe though, and this would mess up that count there. That Owl might be the Doctor.
He might be. That
and
would
then
be weird.
Then I guess the count would be back on, and Kanga and Roo would be the last 2, because then there'd be two kids missing from that list.
Yeah, they're gonna have to delve into that a little bit more, because it does seem like Owl is a bit older than everybody else. Now that you mention it,
and he was the one using the honey. It looked like to regenerate them. So I was like, Owl might be the Doctor, and then the count's back. That's right. But
because a big change from this one to the first movie is Pooh actually does lose at the end. Pooh is defeated, which
he loses horror franchise style, which is for now.
I do love how he said, "Oh bother."
Yes, I had that written down too. That was a good final moment.
I think that's his only line of spoken dialogue.
I think you're right,
because Piglet talks a couple of times.
It was a much better use of his dialogue in this movie than in the first one.
Yeah, Owl and Tigger never shut up.
No, but it works. I mean, because again, Tigger's clearly a Freddy Krueger.
I want to say Owl's based on Pinhead.
I could see that. It's possible. Well, yeah, we'll see as it gets more into it. The one I was 100% sure it was Tigger.
If I remember hearing the director correctly, he based Pooh on like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees type of characters, which
that checks out.
Piglet was more based on Leatherface.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Piglet didn't do much.
No, but I think it's more the look.
Yeah, and then Tigger is very clearly Freddy Krueger. There's with the claws and the ears, no way around it.
Yeah.
And then Owl, Pinhead. Yeah, I could see it.
Possible.
Not that I've ever seen Hellraiser, but from what I know of Pinhead, yeah.
I never expected to see Winnie the Pooh and Tigger at a rave, but they seemed like they had fun.
Oh yeah, they had a blast. I'm actually trying to figure out who killed more people between the two of them.
Well, there's a lot of people that died off screen, and the people at that rave were terrible at running because, like, the bodies were all grouped together. So they were just standing around while the others were getting slaughtered, waiting to get slaughtered, because the bodies are right next to each other in a pile, basically. I was like, how did they end up so close together? And then I mentioned the one girl that ran straight at Pooh.
I've read conflicting reports on this. I don't think Tigger died. I think he just got away.
No, it's very, very subtle when Owl is talking about bringing them back at the end. Tigger he's in the room. He's like in the back behind the door. It's hard to see him, but he is there.
Whereas Pooh and Piglet were dead.
Yeah.
I was shocked. The love interest Lexi. I was shocked she didn't die.
I thought for a second that she was going to, but the way the movie was going, I figured she wouldn't. Because I think they had already done enough to Christopher with the slaughtering of his parents.
That was ridiculous. That made me. That actually upset me.
No, but and that's another moment where I was like, after Billy Pooh killed his parents,
I was actually just about to say that because Billy is Pooh, the missing brother. Which,
but when Christopher Robin comes in and finds them again, this guy's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a really good. I don't know who the guy in the first movie was. No offense to you, I don't know you personally, but Scott Chambers just did a much better job.
I never would have left, I swear.
I just find it weird that you didn't make Christopher Robin the main character of the first one.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. Here's something you probably would appreciate. Right after the head drill and head cut off, that third girl he grabs, he does a Sub-Zero fatality on her.
Yeah, he rips her spine out.
It's like, oh, cool. They got a fatality in there.
There's a scene where this girl's running. Pooh just turns and punches her in the face, and I laughed.
The one I thought would have gotten you was when he like baseball bats the head. When he shows.
That's my friend's favorite kill in the whole movie. That looks like a Mortal Kombat fatality for sure.
Yeah, because he has the bear trap on a chain, catches her in the head, yanks the head off, and then baseball bats it.
That's straight up from Mortal Kombat. Someone in Mortal Kombat would do that.
If people at that point don't realize that this is actually a comedy.
Yeah, that's another big improvement on the first one, is the movie finally embraces what it is. It doesn't take itself so seriously like the first one does.
It's so many franchises start doing so much better when they stop being so serious. I have told you the same thing about the other MonsterVerse, the Godzilla one.
Yeah.
Godzilla 2014, was it? Takes itself so seriously and it's so boring. And then the most recent one, Godzilla X Kong, it doesn't, and it's so much more fun.
It's a lot more fun for sure.
And This is the same thing. It's like, yeah, just have fun. You're stupid. This whole concept is stupid. Own it.
Yeah, honestly, like nobody's taking it seriously. It's a Winnie the Pooh slasher. Like, you know the type of audience you're going to get with a piece of stupid fluff like this. Just embrace the stupidity, and people will have more fun with it.
Yep.
And as far as I know, this is unanimously considered superior to the first one.
Yeah, actually, I found a few comments where people said they preferred the first, and I was like, yeah, your opinion is just completely invalid.
Yeah, no. How?
There is no universe in which the first movie is better. I don't give 1 star to movies a lot, but the first one earned that.
Oh, the first one is horrible, objectively.
This one is a 3 minimum.
Yeah, it's much more fun.
Out of 5, that is.
Yeah, no, I understand what you were saying.
It's just making it clear.
Yeah, like honestly, I think Blood and Honey 2 is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it owning its stupidity is what makes it better. And also, just, again, having a freaking plot.
Exactly. That's a giant improvement. Is the first movie had no plot. This one has one. So it helps.
And you mentioned those things that I didn't catch, but they are pretty much all in on this now. With the next, there's a lot coming. There's the Bambi, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, Alice in... Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Alice in Wonderland, Mary Poppins, Snow White, and then the Avengers style. Poohniverse, Monsters Assemble. So, just ripping straight off of Avengers. No shame.
Not at all, but that's going to be insane, and I need to see it.
And then, of course, there is going to be a Blood and Honey 3.
Of course.
It's just funny, though, because this is actually the first movie in the franchise, not the second.
Yeah, because the first one, they tell you the first one isn't real. The second one tells you the first one isn't real, so...
And I'm sure Disney would love it if this franchise becomes successful.
Oh, yeah. Now, what else did I want to say? I had a couple of other things. How'd you feel about that creepy guy who did all the capturing of the kids?
Oh, the one they gave every line of exposition to?
Yeah. He was just there for an exposition dump. That's the whole.
He did all right. I'm pretty sure they cast him just because he could rattle off the lines correctly.
That
whole scene, I was like, he's about to kill himself.
Yeah, he does.
The entire time he was talking, I knew exactly where that was going.
This is going to be a weird comparison, but this movie kind of, in a way, reminds me of Spider-Man 2. Because in Spider-Man 2, every scene imaginable is just a way to shit on Peter's life. And the same kind of thing happens in this to Christopher Robin. Because the poor guy just cannot catch a break.
Yep. People are already ostracizing him for something he didn't do, and he loses his job because of it. And yeah, it's true. He is getting beaten down, and his parents dying. Oh my God, you're right. Ah.
I don't know how I keep comparing these random ass movies to Spider-Man, but
everything is Spider-Man when you break it down.
I mean, I somehow made Grease 2 compared to Spider-Man. So like,
yeah, that was a weird one.
I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And now I'm doing it with Blood and Honey 2. What is my life? I almost think that this movie may have been a little better off if oh fuck, I don't know if I want to say that.
What?
I was gonna say if you never find out what happened to his sister, and then Chris gets shit on even.
Oh, actually, I thought that's what was gonna happen when she first disappeared and wasn't dead. I thought she was gonna be gone until the next movie.
That would have been messed up.
That's why I was like, oh man, they might turn her into Rue. That's where that was going.
But no. Christopher's allowed to have somewhat of a happy life.
Yeah, but also it just doesn't make. Where was she? What happened?
I guess Pooh didn't kill her?
It's like, all right, I'll kill my parents, but little sister, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Michael Myers. Michael Myers doesn't kill, so.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, you did say that was part of the. Okay.
As far as I know, Michael Myers doesn't kill Joel.
Not since he was a kid. Teenagers don't count, do they?
No. But I guess there was that baby in like the newest Halloween movie that he just walked away from. He was like, okay, thank God.
Interesting.
But man, yeah, I unironically did enjoy this movie.
I didn't have any major criticisms walking away from it. I was like, yeah, it was dumb. There were moments, there were ways that this could have been improved. Honestly, the sister coming back the way she did was kind of a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It just went nowhere.
You know what I think too? Rule of contrast is really helping this movie out because
it's just so bad.
It's so much better than the first one that it looks amazing in comparison.
I was trying to figure out if that's what it was, but I mean, I wasn't going in thinking, oh, this is going to be bad because you had already told me that the second one was better. But I think I still probably would have enjoyed this even without the first one being so bad. Like if the first one didn't even exist and it just went straight to this, I feel like I still would have been like, that was silly.
It's just a fun slasher with a big stupid monster, and if you turn off your brain off kind of thing, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy it unless you're really, really attached to one of and you can't.
You've ruined my childhood. How could you do this?
Say, if you can't let go of your childhood, then I don't know what to tell you. This probably ain't for you.
Yeah. So you're gonna go watch Terrifier now, right?
Eventually, probably.
Just to be clear, still hate the first one.
Oh goodness! But
it's just the best comparison I have for this series.
I've heard that a lot, actually. Is that a lot of people compare this to Terrifier? Now I believe. Do you have any more you want to say about Blood and Honey 2?
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Although I do want to follow up on something from last week that I'm a bit concerned about.
All right, go ahead.
Jeremy Johns did not like the new Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah,
he did like Stitch though, so that part at least.
No.
Yeah, there's that.
I believe, and I could be wrong. Cody, correct me because I haven't kept count. I believe next week will be episode 50 from the shelf.
Yep.
So I think the only thing to do that's appropriate is go back to the first episode for episode 50. So next
we're doing Jurassic World?
Yes.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Next time we will finally follow up on Jurassic Park with the sequel, The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
There you go.
I haven't watched this movie in years.
I think I watched it last year.
I gotta find it. I don't own it. I only own the first one. I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening to us today. We do appreciate it as always. And stay tuned for next time where we talk about Lost World. This could go either way.
That it could.
All right, guys, take it easy.